lot of people think that when a film wraps, that means that the film is finished, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Erik spends just about every day, some portion of the day, working on it. Our composer just spent 13 hours yesterday getting the score ready for preview. Brian Andress, the producer, has been doing audio work nonstop for the last several months. So nobody's sitting still and nobody's sitting on their hands. We are working very, very hard to get this done.
I mean, let's face it, shooting is the sexy part of the job. That's when, you know, you're standing there on a set and people have clappers and lights and, you know, it's very Hollywood. Post-production is sitting in front of a computer and sitting in front of a computer and sitting in front of a computer.
We got to do ADR for a handful of the actors, where an actor goes back in, watches the picture, and re-records their lines because either
there's creaking of the camera dolly. In this particular scene, it's mostly the creaking of the camera dolly. Sometimes it's
wind noise or cars, or they're just speaking too low for the camera, or whatever. The dialogue doesn't play right, so they have to come back in and do that. So we've got about 30 pages, probably, if you put it together, which is a lot of dialogue that needs to be re-recorded, so we got to get people into studio for that.
We've decided what lines need to be re-recorded. We had a couple meetings about that, and today then we have to bring each actor and actress in to actually re-record them. And today we have Amy, who plays Adler from the therapy group, and we have her in the booth over here. She has a video screen in there, and she's watching the screen, and she's just trying to basically match her lip movements on screen as much as possible, while at the same time trying to keep the integrity of the performance. So that's basically what we do. It's kind of like trial and error. We just keep doing takes until we get it right.
Well, this is really challenging because when you're acting on the set, you're immersed in what you're doing, and this is very technical. So it's very challenging to. In a way, I need to mimic what I did, but you want it to be coming from somewhere too, you know, so that it's not just blank sounding. So it's very challenging to sort of mimic yourself, but also try to remember what you were feeling at the time that you did it.
The music needs to be written, it needs to actually fit into the film itself.
And usually I'll just start off, right now I have something queued up. This is the third act, the whole third act. And musically, if you can see, lots of stuff going on there. Especially this very end of the third act. Wouldn't you like to see that? So, I come in here and, you know, I write a note at a time. And usually on the project board, I go through and, you know, scene by scene, and certain checks mean certain colors, little things like that, keep me organized. And I just write and write and write and write. And then, you know, Erik will come and he'll give me changes, and I'll write them all down, and I'll do them. And he'll come back and we'll look at that scene again, and that's how I guess the film is scored. And you just write, lots of writing, lots of notes. You can see all that. There's a lot of notes there. Lots of stuff going on.
The film itself needs to be cut, it needs to be approved, it needs to be locked, it needs to be exactly what needs to happen before we start layering in the lines of dialogue that were lost or need to be re-recorded. All of the sound effects, everything, you know, minutia like footsteps, glasses tinkling, little things like that, to big sounds, you know, whether that's an explosion or a car accident or something like that. Then you've got to deal with the music, and then every frame of the film has to be color timed and then colored for style.
We've got, 3 audio people, plus Brian, who's overseeing it. We've got Erik and at least one other color person. We've got the composer, he's got 2 people working for him.
I would say it's been about 12 weeks of writing, something around there, where I've actually sat down and started scoring scene by scene. So 12 weeks. So, and working towards the end here, the last 4 weeks, I'll say I put in probably about 13, 14 hour days, roughly. but it's fun. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's a good. I've always said that movies would be great if there was no deadline. You could just work on them whenever you felt like you were inspired, and you came in and you were inspired, and you only had good days, but you got to take the good with the bad.
We're doing everything that we can. Priority number one is finish the movie before we worry about a trailer.
There's no trailer because we want to wait till the score is ready, the color is done, and the Foley is done, and the ADR is done, so that the trailer looks as good as the movie. There's no time to waste in just fixing up a few scenes. We need to get the film itself ready, and then we can put the trailer together for everybody's viewing pleasure.